Welcome everyone on Lassana Beadwork. Why this name? Because Lassana means pineapple in French, and for me, it's the coolest and the most fashionable fruit of this world. Lassana is also a way to call a woman like me. Beadwork because I'm in love about ethnic art made from seed beads. In this place, I will share with you my favorites and my beadwork paintings with all the hidden stories behind their beads.
Hello! I hope that you're well. As I promised, with each new painting that I make, I tell you its story. Inspired by a symbol, a portrait, or even an existing object, I embroider it for hours, which gives me the time to immerse myself in its universe and to learn all I can do about it. Then I transcribe the main lines and what spoke to me or touched me, so that you can then discover or rediscover it in my own way. If you have not seen yet my previous video about the fertility doll and the Egyptian scarab, it will be in my description of the video. Today, and in the continuity of my collection Protection, I really wanted to show you the Kota Reliquary figure.
The function of the reliquary guardian, as its name indicates, was to protect the relics of an ancestor. The figure, made especially for the deceased, was placed in a basket in which were the bones of one or more ancestors of the lineage. This protective figure would exercise its power over the ancestor, but also over the community, the family, the lineage, the clan, all depending on who it belonged to. Concerning the deceased, be careful. It was not just anyone. According to the ethnologist Louis Perrois, who has studied the ancient cultures of Central Africa for a long time, he indicates the ancestors represented were the most famous males of the clan and certain exceptionally prolific women. The Kota people who had to move regularly, depending on the fertility of the land, or to leave their territory in case of conflict, had found a way to always have their ancestors with them. The figure was the link between the visible and the invisible. It was placed in a sacred place, out of sight, and honored with offerings and sacrifice to maintain the link and balance between the living and the dead. Before any important action, hunting, fishing, wedding, birth, or to ask for favors, the reliquary keeper was questioned during consultation rituals or solicited for initiation rituals. The reliquary figures are made of different materials. The base, the central structure, the soul, is made of wood. The materials vary according to the craftsman and what they had access to at the time of their creation. They are usually covered with brass and copper strips. Each guardian is unique, and their characteristics vary according to the geographic area from which they come. It is difficult to speak of precise locations, as the Kota are a grouping of different clans and have had to move frequently, but from what I've been able to learn through my readings, they can be found in Gabon and in the north of Congo. If you would like a more in-depth study of their migration and the different clans that make up the Kota, the ethnologist Louis Perrois has carried out a very interesting study of this subject. The links will be in the descriptions of the video. You can find these impressive guardians in many museums, such as the Quai Branly in Paris, for example, in London at the British Museum, at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, or, of course, in New York at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. The images of the reliquary guardian that I filmed come from the Ethnological and World Cultures Museum in Barcelona. The legitimacy of African artworks in museums and private collections has been a controversial issue in recent years in France, because according to the French media AG+, experts say that 85 to 90 of African artworks are outside Africa, in museums and private collections. The President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron, had committed in 2017 to return the misappropriated possessions or pillaged ones during the colonization. As you can imagine, these guardians of Kota relics or highly prized on the art market. Some can sell for up to millions of dollars. Like this one, recently sold by one of the largest art and collectibles auctions company. It is of course the multinational Sotheby's. This statuette is estimated at between $1 million and $1,500,000. It is without surprise that I discovered that these incomparable works of art that adorn the mobile tombs of the Kota people have inspired contemporary artists, and I am so sure that we will never stop to inspire others. The first time I came across a Kota Reliquary statuette, I was immediately seduced by the originality of its form. It is difficult to look away from the light reflected in its golden and coppery hues. Each of the guardians is special, sometimes even a little frightening, I think, and it is the fine and subtle details that make it authentic and recognizable as to its origin. The sacred object appears to be entirely covered in metal, brass, or copper, as the wood is so skillfully covered. Once I was charmed by its appearance, I wanted to know its history, its function. I was even more impressed than what he had shown me so far. It is an object that fully embodies a departed being, a remarkable object that allows the story of this special ancestor to be passed on from family to family or from clan to clan. This guardian unites generations. It is incredible to be able to consult it frequently through ceremonies. Because for the Kota people and many animist people still today, the dead are not dead. It is a sweet thought that I like to lose myself in. This is why I try to reproduce from my favorite medium, beads, a guardian that can last in time and in houses. Through my protection collection, I wanted to bead symbols of the world that had been calling me for a long time. The Kota Reliquary figure is definitely one of them. It is important to me that my painting can convey a message. Behind every symbol, there is a belief, a tradition, a story. Some symbols are for those who believe in them, lucky charms that protect. May my paintings protect your interior. It will be for me a real honor. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked and want more stories, you just have to subscribe.